How you doing, everyone? My name is Ryan, and this is Ade, and welcome back to another edition of Box Talk. Today is the rematch. 2 years in the making. The third time was a highly controversial decision, the worst decision of the year. Pacman versus Timothy Bradley. Ade, what's going on? Is it be a repeat, or is it going to be a new story for Pacman?
Fuck me, 2 years.
2 years.
Wow.
2 years. By the time it can't be about 2 years, 10 months.
I can't call this fight. I'm very... When the first fight happened, I thought Pacman was going to win easily, and he did. Since then, Timothy Bradley's had a couple of hard fights. Obviously, Marquez, Provodnikov, which was just...
Yeah, war. Tremendous war.
Provodnikov's that guy that no one wants anymore. Yeah. But I don't know, if you see interviews about Provodnikov, no one wants to fight him anymore because there's no point. There's no point fighting that guy. He is the Golovkin of lower weights. But no, seriously, Pat Brad... Look, it's a good matchup. It's almost a matchup, though, that's been made because Arum seems to have no 147 fighters. So it's almost like the fight that had to happen because there's who else is Pacman going to fight in that camp over there. Golden Boy's just got all the 147 fighters. There is no one for him to fight. That's why they're saying fucking Pacman Marquez number 7 or 6.
Sorry to jump on your bandwagon because I just realised, I never thought this, yeah? But did you hear the story about Bradley had to actually sign a contract extension to actually get the Pacman fight? So now he's actually tied into top rank, and you can't go Golden Boy to get no other fight or no other fight.
That's a joke.
Ridiculous.
I think Al Heyman got a bit of magic there.
Yeah.
Something's going to happen over there. But no, you look at the fight, and stylistically, it's a good fight. I mean, at the first fight, Bradley was almost Bradley's breakthrough fight. Yeah, he had fights against Devin Alexander before that, and Lamont Peterson, but it was his breakthrough fight. Yeah. And he announced himself, he got a good paycheck. I just don't know what to make of Pacman yet. He's obviously off the steroids, don't sue me, and he's just not the same person.
I reckon this fight, I think there's two clear differences in this fight from the first fight. There's one that Pacman has clearly slipped. He's still a tremendous fighter, still most probably an elite, as in when I say elite, a top 10, top 15 pound for pound player. So he's mostly still very good in his game, but he's clearly not the man he was 2 years ago. Bradley is clearly, I think, the better fighter now than he was then. He's proven to go through the hard wars. He's had his chin tested. He had his boxing IQ tested. We know what Bradley's about now. And that's the difference. Is it now Bradley's too much for Pacman? Because last time, that's in the first fight, Pacman had his way with Bradley, easily. But now one's down and one's come up, it makes it more competitive and more interesting. And especially with Pacman announcing that he wants the middleweight fight at the end of his career, and he's free to fight if his contract ends this year. Will Top Rank have to keep Bradley as a marquee player?
See, the thing for me, I look at it, and I think you mentioned that Bradley's gone up, and there's no doubt Bradley has gone up a bit, and Pacman slipped a lot. But I look at the situation with Top Rank and Golden Boy now, and that's what we've got to look at as a situation between them two. And Golden Boy seems to be UFC for all those MMA fighters, and Top Rank seems to be Bellator. I don't know how good Bradley is because all the top 147 guys for me are on the other side. And so this is me. I'm confused about how good Bradley is. Bradley's fought an old, aged Marquez. Let's have it right. An old, aged Marquez, who clearly isn't a 147 guy, who's at 135, 140 at best. And that went to a point decision, and it wasn't controversial, but some people had it going the other way, whatever. And Provodnikov's a 140 guy, really, as well. I'm not sure how good Bradley is. I'm still not sure how good Pacquiao is anymore. He beat Brandon Rios, but Brandon Rios is a punching bag. Yeah. And I think a lot of the top 147 guys in Golden Boy stable beat Brandon Rios pretty comfortably. Again, he went up in weight. Yeah. I'm not sure how good either of these guys are at the moment, but it makes it an interesting fight. I mean, a lot of people are saying if Pacquiao wins this, then finally we might get the Mayweather showdown. I don't know if anyone really wants to see it anymore, personally, but that's what they're saying in September. It could happen.
See, the thing about what makes it interesting for me is that Bradley's got his belief in himself. Yeah, he's got his belief in himself and his father and his people around. It's like he is really the best boxer in boxing. And he really believes that. And having that belief makes him good for the sport, but it also makes him, I can't explain it. It's like when he fought Provodnikov and he said that, he had a concussion, his head was scrambled, he had headaches for 3 weeks, but he didn't care because he was willing to die in the ring. And you're like, well, people say that stuff, but you will clearly buzz for 3-4 months after the fight, and you were affected for it, but that didn't deter you, you still go for it. So he's got that will to win, that drive, that passion, which makes him, as much as a great fighter, makes him a risk.
See, I like Bradley. I do like Bradley. I like his work ethic. You want to watch the 24/7s. You almost felt for him that I actually wanted him to beat Pacquiao. I remember, I like He seemed to be the only guy that seemed to not be scared and willing to go toe to toe with Pacquiao. And I liked when he came over to England about 7 years ago and stopped Junior Witter.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, okay, who's this guy? No one knew him. He looked strong, he looked tough, but no one knew who he was at the time.
I remember when he came over, like he wishes to fight in Southern California, and no one knew he was literally like a local fighter. And he came over here, travelled, beat a legit world champion at the time, and walked away with the belt comfortably.
I like Bradley. Bradley's the kind of person he served these dudes. He literally cleaned out the 140 division minus Amir Khan. But for him to take the next step, for me, A, he needs to beat Pacquiao, and B, he needs to leave Top Rank and fight the Golden Boy fighters. Yeah. There is so many 147 fighters he can potentially fight that will be good money paydays. There's Andre Berta, there's Luis Collazo, there's a Victor Ortiz, wants to fight. There's so many.
As good as Bradley is, as much as I like Bradley, I wouldn't make him a favourite, even though he's a pound-for-pound player. And as he's fought in the rankings, he's earned his spot in the rankings, which is very rare. But I don't think he'll beat. I wouldn't make him the favourite over half the guys at Golden Boy.
This is it. But okay, who do you make him? Do you make him the favourite over Pacquiao?
I can't say it's like a 50-50 fight. I see it's one guy getting slower and one guy getting faster, and that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing Pacquiao's no longer the guy he was, and he's coming down. So that makes him available to lose to anyone.
Why is Pacquiao no longer the guy he was? I'm not trying to start another conversation about here. Honestly, I've been watching Pacquiao videos for the last month, and it seems as though as soon as Mayweather started talking about this steroid use thing, I don't know if someone said, okay, I'm stop sending you the shit, Pacquiao. He doesn't seem to be the same Pacquiao. I know people might say age, I'm not having it.
We've done this video already, steroids in boxing. We don't need to do it again. Yeah. You don't know Adi is a troublemaker.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
The problem with Pacquiao right now is that he's got his hands in too many pots. He's still training at the wild card. He's training in the Harvest Camp in the Philippines, and his car job with Boo Boy over in the Philippines. He's on Congress, as we all know. Yeah. He's now a man of God. He's no longer doing certain things. So he's not longer being a man of God, but obviously he's spending his time in church and not in the gym and doing certain things, which is good for him as a person. I'm not going to fault him, but his whole career, his no focus, no longer on boxing. Where before he was 100% boxer, that's all that counted: boxing. Now boxing's like his fifth job.
This is the guy.
That's why I got the same Bradley.
I'm not saying Pacman. This is the guy that stopped Diaz. People might not know that 140, 135. Yeah. Stopped De La Hoya. Stop Miguel Cotto. I'm not having that. One of my greatest fighters of all time. Stop Ricky Hatton. Made Joshua Clottey throw four punches in a fight. Yeah. Put down Mosley. Mosley didn't want to get back up again. And all of a sudden, it's all gone. I don't understand it. It's all disappeared. I'm not having it. Something's wrong. It's dodgy. Anyway, what do you think?
Motivation, determination is the difference. That's the difference. And I think where Pacquiao has lost his motivation, Bradley's got it. And Bradley feels hard done by the boxing public. He thinks that boxing basically took a dump on him because of the whole practice. They blamed him for winning the fight, which is not his fault. And then Bradley didn't help by saying he believes he won the fight. When he said was it 8 rounds to 4 or 9 rounds to 3, he said he won. So that he didn't help himself either. But because of that, Bradley feels the fire under him, and that's why I'm making Bradley to win this fight.
You know, it's a tough fight to call. It's almost a fight where when Bradley got the decision over Pacquiao, it's almost like the hierarchy almost said, okay, Pacquiao, you're on your way out, type thing. That's the kind of decision that would never have happened before. Those kind of when it's a tight decision like that, the money man always gets the decision. That's just the way it works in boxing. People might not like it, you love it, whatever. It's the way it works. When they gave Bradley that decision over Pacquiao, I think my jaw is still not fully shut. My jaw hit the floor like, wow. Not only did Pacquiao easily win, Pacquiao's the money man. He's up there with Mayweather in terms of money per fight. So I was very shocked by that. So that almost takes away that kind of Superman stance that Pacquiao has. I think Pacquiao's going to eat this one out. I don't know. I think he's going to be a lot more active. I think he's got 2 more fights left, and one of those fights he really wants to be Mayweather. And we all heard about Pacquiao's taxman problems. I don't know. I'm not trying to say Pacquiao's no money, but look, you win this, and the big bonus in September is a big showdown with Mayweather, which will still generate huge amounts of money.
I'll tell you what, yeah. When Pacquiao actually boxes without the blistering combinations, his punches are very, very sharp and accurate.
Very sharp.
Very, very sharp. It's a beautiful puncher to watch as a puncher. Much more beautiful than Bradley as a whole. Bradley is a boxer, but that's to kind of scrap and that's to stay in range. He boxes at a distance, but he wants to get in close in a sense and do damage. If Pacquiao boxes and stays with his sharp technique, which he can provide, and he's got good footwork as well for a guy that's more of an aggressive fighter, he can outpoint Bradley, I reckon, quite comfortably. But the way Bradley fights and the way Pacquiao likes to trade, it plays into Bradley's hands as it stands right now because Pacquiao is no longer the athlete or has the heart of determination he had previously.
See, the thing for me, and we're going to go back to the Pacquiao, and I don't want to bring up Pacquiao steroids because it's wrong and it's just allegations and it's not right to kind of put that on someone. But yes, I can get how the motivation can go a bit and the determination can go, but one thing all boxers seem to say they have it until their last leg, is their power. His power and punch seems to have gone as well. I don't know what it is, but the punch seems to have gone, the power. Bradley's been put down by a few people before. People watch the fights, he's been put down. Kendall Holt put him down horribly. Yeah, and he bounced up and woke up. He actually hit the floor and woke up.
Kendall Holt can punch when he wants to punch, yeah?
Pacquiao didn't seem to hurt Bradley one bit in that fight, and that surprises me.
But I think that was a change in the guard in Pacquiao, where Pacquiao, like I said, it's been a couple of years now where Pacquiao has not been focusing on boxing.
Yeah, but the power should still be there. Anyone
who has any sport in the world, anyone who's watching this video will know you could be great at one sport and you miss it for a month or two and you're no longer the same. You have to train back up to get to your level you were before. And that's where Pacquiao is right now, where he's not the same. He doesn't have the focus, the dedication, the discipline, or the mentality, and he's always being one step behind.
I think it's blood transfusions. But that's another show today. But guys, what do you think? Pacquiao, Bradley, look, it's a rematch of 2 years ago. Bradley won a controversial, probably one of the most controversial decisions that we've seen in the last few years of boxing. Will he do it again? I mean, if Bradley does win, where does he go from here? I mean, does he try and fight Marquez again? Does he try and get out of this top-ranked contract and move to Golden Boy and get real fights? If Pacquiao wins, do we finally get to see a fight that we really wanted to see 5-6 years ago? Does it matter anymore if we don't see this fight? I don't really care about seeing Mayweather Pacquiao.
Nah, same man.
But who's there for Mayweather to fight at the moment? Makes an interesting fight. It will sell pay-per-views, you all know that. Guys, leave your comments below. Tell us who do you think wins and where they go from here. Email us at
BoxTalk@hotmail.co.uk.
And guys, thanks for tuning in for another edition of BoxTalk.